Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. I've talked about a lot of things over the past nearing 200 episodes, and I've wondered about some things. One of the things that keeps popping up is how are illegal immigrants paying taxes? I was fairly amazed that this was something that the government of the United States had worked out. Well, last night, sitting on that couch over there with the wife, I finally figured it out. And it just took a quick search. Again, it wasn't really a search. I asked Grok, and Grok led me down the rabbit hole. We went down that rabbit hole. My wife and I went down that rabbit hole together. And this is what we discovered. There's something called an ITIN. And it is an individual tax identification number. And it is issued to anybody that wants to pay taxes. Now, some of you might be thinking right now, wow, who did that? What law did that come from? And did they pass it in the middle of the night? Nope. They didn't pass it in the middle of the night because it's not a law. It was a procedure instituted by, at the time, the head of the IRS was Margaret Miller in 1996. So no law. President Clinton passed something in 1996, but it didn't have the ITIN in it. It was just started by the IRS. I've never talked about the deep state. May have mentioned it, but never gone into any depth about my thinkings on that subject. But man, that smells deep state-ish. Is that a word? To me, that is unbelievable. Wait, it gets better. If you are an illegal immigrant and you have an ITIN, which they'll just give you, the IRS is not allowed to share that information with any other organization in the government. So, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again now. The Republicans want illegal immigrants. The Democrats want them for the census so that they can get, well, the gerrymandering that they want come the turn of the decade. The Republicans want cheap labor. Meanwhile, on the southern border, every single time there's a crossing, people's lives are put at risk. People's lives are endangered by having to deal with I don't like the word coyotes, but that's the term that everybody understands. Having to deal with coyotes, the smugglers of individuals across the border. Having to deal with the actual crossing, which usually involves going over a river and then over a wall. And President Biden allowed it. Okay, I know. President Biden didn't allow anything. He wasn't cognitive enough. But the administration under President Biden allowed that to happen on such a huge scale. And he just opened the border. I mean, there's no other explanation. That's what had to have happened. The ITIN. I want you to know that that's out there. I want you to know that the government of the United States says to the illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants. It's such a silly argument. They broke the law when they crossed the border. It's not undocumented. The word undocumented to me means that I have insurance, but I don't have proof with me. So my insurance is undocumented. An undocumented immigrant means you came into the country, but you don't know where your papers are that you got when you came into the country legally. Sorry, you're an illegal immigrant. You broke the law to come into the country. I'm married to an immigrant. It took her almost 20 years to become a U.S. citizen. It was hard fought, and she earned it. If the president wants to stop this unbelievable invasion of the economy, simply do away with the ITIN. I know that allowed the illegal aliens to stop stealing Social Security numbers, but that's too damn bad. What you're doing is you're facilitating an illegal act upon the people of America. I had an argument once with someone online about illegal aliens and their impact on the economy. And one of the things they said was, you're not going to find Americans who are going to be willing to pick, at the time we were talking about peaches. And absolutely not at that rate. So are you willing to pay more for peaches? Yes. Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to pay more for anything that is done in a legal manner. That's kind of the point. We all should be making a living wage. We all should be earning a living wage. You can't earn a living wage when you're competing with illegal employees. And this all came back to the forefront of the, is the word zeitgeist? I don't know. It all came to the forefront of the news because of that truck driver who killed those people in Florida. Look, you're treating illegal immigrants as if they came into the country legally. Stop it. You in the insurance industry, I think this would be called an attractive hazard. So if you have a swimming pool and a child dies in your swimming pool, walks into the pool in the middle of the night and jumps in the pool and drowns, you can be held responsible for that death if you didn't have enough, mechanisms to keep that child out of the pool, depending upon where you live and what county you live in. So a lot of counties require a fence. A lot of insurance companies require a fence because a pool is an attractive hazard. It is something that children want to go to. And if you do not protect it and protect the children who aren't even your children from the pool, then you can be culpable for that death. You're allowing illegal aliens to be paid at a lower rate than an American. Number one, that's wrong. You're not treating those people equal. And number two, you are lowering every American's rate of pay. ITIN. I feel like I should apologize to somebody for not doing a quick search to figure out what this was. Everybody should know about this. Everybody in America should know what ITIN is, because it's affecting your life, it's affecting your pay, and it's affecting your employment. I know some of the questions that are going to pop up. If you do away with the ITIN, we're going to lose that revenue. Yes, we're going to lose that illegal revenue. That's okay, because the job has to get done. People will be paid more to do that job, and your taxation will be increased. You'll actually make more. The job has to get done. What's another question that's going to come up? Oh, how about this one? They don't get to collect Social Security, but they still have to pay it. Right. That's not fair to them. Also, the price for an employee that has an American Social Security number is higher than an illegal alien. So again, the job's got to get done. We can't afford. No, you can afford it. That's how the economy works. We live in a capitalist society. We live in a society where supply and demand rules. And right now you're supplying a lot of cheap labor that's not real, that is illegal. So, yeah, it'll get done. Also, illegal aliens quash technology. That's another problem with illegal aliens. They quash because it's cheaper to hire 20 people to, let's say, pick pecans than it is to come up with a new technology. This is one of the technologies that I've witnessed where they have these machines now that go up to a tree, and this big skirt expands around the tree, and then the machine grabs the tree and shakes the tree. All the pecans fall onto the skirt, and they're funneled to the middle, and there's a conveyor belt that takes it off to a truck. That's technology. But if it's cheaper to have people do it, then we don't get new technology. I'm disgusted this morning. I've been disgusted last night when I read that. The wife was astounded because she worked hard to get her Social Security number, her citizenship. She worked very hard to get it and paid the inefficient bureaucracy of a government. I think she said 3, maybe 4 times. She had to keep paying them because they kept putting off her paperwork and losing her paperwork and re-interviewing her. And they were some of the rudest people. That's another thing that is affected by illegal immigrants. When employers have to, how do I put this? When an employer has their choice of who they hire, when they hire that person, they understand that they can fire, dismiss out of hand anybody they want because they can just get another person. So you don't get the cream of the crop. You start getting lower and lower standards, people that aren't nice, people that are kind of rude, people that aren't doing their job to the best of their ability. Not everybody has the same values that you do as far as work goes, or I do. And it's evident when you go and you see the lower paid employees. I dealt with illegal aliens yesterday on my job. I delivered a construction site. It's one of the biggest breakers of the laws for illegal aliens. And I'm unloading this stuff, and the guy comes up, and I don't like it when they do this, but occasionally a customer will just crawl up on the trailer with me while I'm unloading just to see what's going on in my trailer. And this was each piece weighed about 110 pounds. And it was really big stuff, these big round pipes. And I'm rolling them to the back of the trailer. And he says, I don't have my it's a forklift. Has a different name, but on a construction site. And he said, I don't have it with me right now, so I'm just going to get my guys to take it off. And so he gets, and these pipes are getting bigger and bigger as I go, and they're all on pallets standing up. And the last one's like 300 pounds, and I roll it to the end. And he says, give me about 3 more guys over here. And 3 more guys come up. I said, man, you don't need a forklift when you got these strapping guys on the ground just picking stuff up. He said, that's right. All I got to do is get a couple more Mexicans and I'm good to go. I don't need a forklift. And I thought, wow, there it is. Right there. That's it kind of blew my mind. Like this delicious coffee's blowing my mind. I feel like I should throw an ad in here. So yeah, last night I discovered how they're paying taxes, and it really angered me because we have created an attractive hazard in America. And unfortunately, it doesn't just affect the people that are being attracted, it affects all of us. This rabbit hole that we went into last night was caused by a video we watched with, well, I know that Geraldo Rivera was on it, and some guy named Benny something or other. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The point is that they were arguing over these illegal aliens, and of course, Geraldo was saying we can't get rid of these people. These are people, and yeah, they are people. And his contention was they didn't break any laws. They're just out there cutting yards. And no. The reason we have citizenship laws and borders is so that we can have a stable economy in a stable country. All of the illegal aliens that are here illegally, every time they in my opinion, in my estimation, every time that they do anything that takes away from an American citizen that is working in the economy, for instance, every time they cut the grass, and they do it for $20 instead of the American down the road who has to charge $45, because this is a literal something that goes on in this area. Every time they do that, they're reinforcing the law they broke when they crossed illegally. So that law, that breaking of the law, that criminal activity is reinforced every time they do that. And the government gave them a number to pay taxes. So basically what the government said was, welcome to America. You are here illegally. Here's your tax number. Have a good day. It blows my mind. And the idea that they don't want to send any of these illegal immigrants who started their career in America by breaking the law. One of the things that one of the debaters brought up was the people that came here involuntarily. They were 4 years old and their parents crossed illegally. Okay, all right, I get it. I understand. So that person has a case to say, I don't need to be deported because I didn't have a choice in this. And justice can be served in a court. But the parents who crossed illegally last week or 20 years ago, I'm sorry. You willingly broke the law and you have to go home. I know that's harsh, but our economy is in a horrible situation, and you can't take care of anybody. You can't have a charitable situation unless your house is in order, and our house is not in order. I'm at a loss for words. It doesn't sound like it because I keep talking, but it is Ramblings with Joe. So, and I don't dislike these. Look, I have said it 1,000,000 times. Okay, maybe 500,000 times. I don't dislike illegal aliens. I don't dislike immigrants. I'm married to an immigrant. These people are in a horrendous situation, but that situation was caused by the Democrats, not the Republicans. I don't like the Republicans, but I'm going to lay it at the feet of the responsible party, and that's the Democrats. The Republicans have culpability as well because they want to have these illegal aliens on the down low. Don't be fooled by them. They want them here. They're just giving better lip service. Kind of like the Epstein thing, you know? The Democrats are now saying, oh, look at the evil Republicans. They're not, wait a minute. Yeah, they're not wanting to release those documents, but you were in power for 4 years, and you didn't release the documents either. So, as far as I'm concerned, you're both trying to keep this rated at least PG. Black Rifle Coffee is out for delivery. Nope, that's not right. It has shipped. It will be out for delivery probably tomorrow. And the wife informed me yesterday that she has ordered an espresso blend. And I'm not sure how I feel about that because, as you can see, I don't have an espresso machine, which she quickly pointed out that it can be used for any kind of coffee that we're making. It says so right on the package. But I think we should have an espresso machine. You know, a little espresso in the afternoon might be very nice to have. Of course, she can't drink coffee, so I'm not going to push that subject. Oops, she watches these videos. I'm sorry. I don't really want an espresso machine. It would be a waste of money until you can drink coffee again. I want an espresso machine. Anyway, it's Friday. It's going to be a glorious day. Let's find out what the weather is. What's today's weather?
Expect some clear skies today.
Ooh, high of 89. I'm all in on this. My perfect temperature is 85 degrees. It is just, when I was in the military, I was stationed in Hawaii, and it would rain on us, and we didn't care. And it was just some glorious, and the perfect weather is always 85 degrees in my mind. But 89 degrees, not bad for early September. Anyway, it's Friday. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a good day. Tomorrow I have a little bit of work to do for a friend and for my brother. His retirement requires me to work a lot more than I used to. At any rate, it's going to be a good day. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to find some joy and I'm going to find some peace. And I hope that you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time. Gosh, I have such trouble with this Hebrew word. And the wife makes such fun of me every day. Lahi traut.